All right, well, you know what? I'm gonna move this guy because
Go
it
for
being
it.
right there kinda threw me off. All right. Well, I do appreciate you for being on the podcast again. While I do want to talk about some of the projects you got going on right now, I obviously want to get to like the roots and some of like what your early childhood was like. Any brands that particularly stood out to you, and how'd you get into this creative space?
Yeah, definitely. For those who don't know me, my name is Kevin Hobby. I am the founder of the County Project. And if you don't know about the County Project is a brand that tells the story of Orange County in the most authentic way possible through art, fashion, community, and culture. I'm obviously from Orange County. A lot of people ask me if I am,
Yeah.
just because uh, they just want to check and see if I'm legit. But yeah, I'm from uh, the OC. I'm originally from Brea and grew up there. Still living there, but been living there for over 20 years. Um, but I spent a lot of time just all throughout Orange County, just experiencing the different areas, cities. I have family that live like all throughout Orange County, all the way down to like South Orange County and like Aliso Viejo, the Laguna area. So growing up, I got to experience a lot of just like what the county has to offer and like an appreciation for all of what it has to offer. And I went to school in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh shit.
I did a year at Morehouse College,
Okay.
which is the historically black college. And that's where Martin Luther King went to school. That's where Samuel L. Jackson went to school.
Wow.
Spike Lee, John David Washington, who's Denzel Washington's son, went there
Yeah.
as well. So I went out there. Oh, can't forget Metro Boomin went there before he dropped out.
Love
So
that.
yeah, I went there for a year, and that's really where the County Project was birthed. It was the idea came from just being around a lot of creative people. Like I already felt like I was a creative person. I didn't really get to just basically express my like creativity before that, just because I wasn't really around a lot of creative people in Brea. But when I got to Morehouse, like there was so many just like creative people around me, whether recording artists, fashion designers, actual like painters and stuff, poets. Like just when you're surrounded by just a lot of creative people, that just makes you just want to create more. So another thing with just all of like the creative juices flowing and stuff, I had a lot of people ask me where I was from, and like the easy cop out is to say that I'm from LA.
Yeah.
When you say that you're from like California, Southern California. But I was like, no, I'm going to say I'm from Orange County because that's where I'm from and stuff.
Okay.
And some people had like no idea where that was, and like I would have to tell them like that's where Disneyland's at.
Okay. Yeah.
Or you will have people who know Orange County because of like the show The OC
Right.
and Real Housewives of
Oh
Orange
yeah.
County,
Of
and then
course.
they'll be like, oh, like you're rich.
Yeah, you got money.
You got money. I'm like, no, that's not the case. And you know, I got that response just quite often, but you know, I got to see how other people represented where they were from. I saw a lot of people from Chicago repping that they're from there, New York, even LA. I saw a lot of people wearing like the Crenshaw Crenshaw tees from the marathon brand, Nipsey, and I think that was what inspired me to create like the county logo, and like it was originally just gonna be like a one of one piece for myself, but I decided to show some of my friends back home, and then even some of my friends out there, and they're like, "Oh, that's tight." I want one of those. I need one of those, and like I had a lot of people tell me that, "Oh, like you should turn it into a clothing brand." And at first, I was like, "I don't know." I wasn't like thinking that way. I didn't really want to get into clothes, but it was during the time where I felt like Orange County One needed something that like fully represented like the county like universally. At the time, there wasn't like too many just like Orange County like clothing out there, and like the ones that did like were only like directed towards like one community or demographic, but you know, I wanted something that was like regardless of what part of the county you're from, background, race, ethnicity, all of that. Like you can wear it, cause I wasn't feeling wearing just like the Orange County flag seal on the front of a shirt or a hoodie. I was like, I wanted something that was like creative, that would have people do like a double take and stuff.
Right.
And that's how I came up with like the logo, and I got a little bit of help from like the homies and one of my like first photographers at the time to just like finalize everything, and like that's how the county project was sort of planted, the origin story of it.
That's beautiful. You mentioned, you know, a logo that kind of just pops, and like you said, makes people double take. I think that's one of the first things I noticed, whether it was on social media, then eventually seeing some of my friends and people that you've had on your little, what do you call it, like the shorter clips, the content that you do?
Yeah.
Seeing the brand pop out, and it's like, oh, that's different. Because I think I've seen other people do something Orange County related, but it doesn't pop the way yours does, with the color of the orange, right, versus like the county, right? And it's just, it's solid. It's, I don't want to say it's simple, but it pops like it's simple.
It is simple. I wanted it to be simple, and a lot of people were like, man, I never thought of that before. It's like, yeah, I feel like sometimes when like people are creative, they really try to think like outside the box, but sometimes you just do something simple because people aren't thinking like, oh, I can do this, and like it'll get straight to the point.
Yeah, less is more sometimes.
Less is more.
That's what they say.
Yes, sir.
So when you were first starting up then with the brand, or you made the shirt, right, and then you had mentioned that you were still unsure of like making it a brand and selling it, what were some of those obstacles that you had faced in the process of becoming where you're at now?
Well, I had to learn about screen printing, clothing brand, like printing, like the whole process of that, because I needed to get some shirts made. And luckily there was a couple people in my dorm that had clothing brands, and they were printing within like the Atlanta area. So I got connected with like the right like print shop and got like a good deal with that. I just want to say that like networking and just finding people who are in the same space as you is really important, especially when like you're starting off, because there's people who are doing what you're doing and have a little bit more experience, and they're able to guide you and stuff. So I got a lot of help from the people that were in my dorm. Shout out to PJ and shout out to Kainazi, and those were two guys that I would just pick their brain all the time, um, and just figure out like how to get like everything squared away. Um, and then trying to figure out how to just operate with only $200. I started
Yeah.
everything with just $200, and I made it happen somehow. I got like I was able to get 24 shirts for like $175, and then the website was free at the time,
Okay.
and I was able to operate like that and just learning on the go, but also taking time to like read articles, listen to videos and stuff, and figure out just like how to scale the brand, and then also being out of state while operating for the first 3 months was just like connecting with like my photographer was out there. So when I went out there for spring break, we took photos and got enough content for like the first couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
which uh, was able to get us by. And then I came back. I decided to come back after 1 year at Morehouse just because it was expensive, and I got so fixated and focused on running the brand and stuff that I let my grades sort of tank. I ended up passing all my classes but one class, but that class, like, literally nobody passed. It was like a business calculus class.
Oh shit.
And I think that maybe 8 people passed. I made it to the final though, and I took the final, but like when we were in, there might have been like 20 people or less than 20 people
At the end?
At the end.
And how much did it start off with?
Like 30 to 35 people.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Really thinned out.
It really thinned out, but I was at risk of losing my academic scholarship, and my parents were like, "We're just going to have you come home, and you could just go to community college for a couple semesters, and then go to like a 4-year university in state,"
Mm-hmm.
which was the best decision that like we could have made, because like that summer I got connected with more people, met a lot more people, and that was like the introduction to like the skateboarding, all of that, and just like that area of the county project. That came from an unfortunate event with someone who I graduated from high school with, who was a really good skateboarder, named Chase Fizell. He passed away the summer that like we launched, the year that we launched the county project, and that was someone who I like kept in mind that like I wanted to have potentially like be a part of the team if he was down and stuff. And news broke out that like he passed away, and that was sort of like the motivating factor in like starting like more of like, it wasn't even like a team, but just like a group of guys who would just get together, skateboard, and like in a positive environment. And I got to meet somebody who went to school in Brea but lived in Anaheim, and behind his house, him and his brother like started a DIY, in the church parking lot, and the church ended up giving them about like $3,000 to build like a DIY, and that was like the spot where like everyone would hang out. And it was only open for like 2.5 years, but within that 2.5 years, I met a lot of people who like I'm still connected with, and like have gone through like the county like pipeline of like skateboarding, which is really, really cool, really powerful that we were able to just make that much impact with the time that the DIY was open.
That's the power of community right there, right? Putting the people that you eventually, you know, would help booster up your brand and just kind of connect with and make bonds with, and
Yeah.
all started in the church parking lot, huh?
Yep.
Was it a big, going back to your college days, right? Was it a big culture shock to not only go from Orange County to Atlanta, but then to go from Atlanta back here to Orange County?
No, honestly, I think I knew what like I was getting myself into just because of taking the trips out to Atlanta. I have my grandparents that live out there,
Okay.
so like I went out there a couple times, and then I was familiar with like just the scene, listening to the music. Like I was listening to like the Atlanta music before
Okay.
it got like popping over here. Like I was in college when I was over at Morehouse when Bad and Bougie blew up. So
Oh, okay.
I was just, like Bad and Bougie was like popping like a couple months before it like got that just worldwide just traction.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I was familiar with the just the climate over there. Morehouse is and is on the west end of Atlanta, which is one of like the rougher areas of Atlanta. So, you know, going from Brea to Atlanta, you know, is definitely a difference. But I wasn't really shocked. I was just like, I just took in like, I took observations of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those fireworks, those sounds that you thought were fireworks, were gunshots.
Okay.
You know, but I'm used to like hearing the Disneyland fireworks and stuff, so I wasn't too crazy. I definitely heard a lot more police and ambulance sirens.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I was, you know, it wasn't too much of a shock. I really appreciated my time out there. I wanted to be out there just because I knew that it was different, especially with Orange County, and I just wanted to experience being in like an area where like the culture, the African American culture is rich, and there's a lot of history out there, and you know, it was a great experience for sure.
Yeah. What's one thing you miss about Atlanta and that area that you can't really get out here?
Oh man, the price for food out there can get, and the wings. There's nothing like the lemon pepper wings out there.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this. So Anaheim has this, but like having like the sports stadiums like and walking distance. Besides where the Braves play, they moved them a little bit outside of like the or not Atlanta, but they're still in like the metro Atlanta area. But
Okay.
having like, I was able to walk to Hawks games from
Dang.
from my campus, and then like Falcon games. I didn't get to go to a Falcons game. I wish I did. I had the opportunity to, but decided to hit the books instead. And they were playing the Falcons were playing my favorite team. They were playing the Chargers, and like I skipped out on that. But
Dang.
just yeah, the walking distance, being able to like walk to the city, walk through the city, is definitely something that I miss. Oh, Waffle House.
Oh,
I
there you
miss
go.
Waffle House.
There you go.
That's something that you can get in the South too.
Right.
South or
I think even Arizona has Waffle Houses, but
do they really?
yeah.
Man, I don't think Waffle House is going to touch California because they know that
Sad.
Roscoe's is over here. But no, yeah, the Waffle House. Every time I go back, I make sure to step inside the Waffle House. That's mandatory.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's one of those places where the food is just kind of whatever, but the aura
Yeah.
of the Waffle House, I always feel
know
like
where
it's a 10.
the good Waffle Houses are.
Oh.
It's all about like going to the right like Waffle Houses. So like there was a couple like in the downtown area, but people avoided like certain ones. And went to like the ones where the food was better and stuff.
Okay.
But that like going like the Waffle House goes in hand with like the food for the price. Like you can't beat it.
Yeah, hell no.
You can't beat it. So, but there was a few places out there like Cookout. Cookout was a good place, and that place stayed open till like 2-3 in the morning every day. At Jimmy Cricket's, they had some fire wings out there. I'm trying to think what else. Nah, not Bojangles. I'm not sure if you're the Bojangles, but
I've heard of it, but never.
Yeah,
never
Bojangles
had it.
is like it's like Church's, Popeyes, all of that.
Okay.
It's chill, but yeah. Oh, Zaxby's. Zaxby's is like Cane's, but like more flavor.
Okay.
More flavor, but yeah, they got different food options out there that are good. And then shout out to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, that's where they started. So
That's true. Okay.
yeah, they are the home of the fried chicken sandwiches, all of that out there. So
Okay. So bringing it back to your brand, you said you moved back here to Brea after college, and you had that first drop in the summer with the skateboard group, right? How did that go, and what did you learn from that for future drops and future plans that you had with the brand?
yeah, well, we then dropped the skateboards. The skateboards came about 3 years later, but the first year we focused on the t-shirts, which is interesting because I originally wanted to do a hoodie, but I decided to go with t-shirts because I only had $200 to work with. So I did t-shirts first, and what I learned was just like really quality of like the t-shirts, quality of like the printing, understanding like the process, understanding like pricing, and understanding how to like market. Marketing is something that's like an ongoing thing that like you're always going to have to learn. It's forever evolving, but just like with what I was trying to do, I wasn't really too like focused on like the clothing, but more like telling the stories of the people here, because a lot of people outside of Orange County thinks that it's just a lot of rich white people who surf out here, and then they thought that I was rich and I surfed, but I never touched the surfboard at the time. So I wanted to show people like the different just people that lived here, and then I got to add like the skateboarding aspect and having that as just something that like we added on to just like showing like the cultures that can be found out here. One of my first projects was actually making shirts for Chase's family. I got to connect with Chase's family and make t-shirts for the family, and then that just led to getting connected with also like local skate shops.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing that I really took away from just that first year was like connecting with people, stepping out of my comfort zone, and I really just like embedded myself like in the city of Anaheim just through like the skateboarding and stuff.
Okay.
I think the city really like embraced like the county project, even if you didn't skateboard.
Right.
A lot of people like saw it as a skateboarding brand because they all saw like the young skater homies. They were like repping and stuff, but a lot of people outside of just that outside of that community really embraced what we were doing as well. So just being able to like step out, connect with people, being just out there active and like spreading the word, even going all the way down to Laguna. I remember going down to Laguna. I remember going down to the Spectrum, passing out stickers and stuff. We're doing photo shoots and we're grabbing the eyes of people. So that first year was just like all about just like networking and stuff. And I met a handful of printers, handful of like photographers within that like first like year to 2 years.
Okay. Was there any, how you said you went to these different places, right? Anaheim, but you also mentioned the Spectrum and Laguna. Was there any places that you kind of see maybe people weren't as welcoming to you passing out stickers or just repping the brand?
I mean, the Spectrum kicked us out because we didn't have a permit.
Oh, really?
But I mean, I was 19 or 18 when we went down and did that. So we just like we understood that.
You guys were selling stuff though, or just
no, just taking pictures.
Oh, just taking pictures.
Just taking pictures, but no. I'm trying to think at the time, was there anyone that wasn't welcoming? I forget. I tried to forget like all the negative.
That's good.
The negative stuff, because a lot of people honestly turn around and then they realize like, oh, like we see what you're doing and it's dope. So I don't recall any negative attention, like negative just energy coming our way.
Mm-hmm. How about this? You said there was a lot of skaters who rocked it. Did you skate yourself too?
Yeah, well, I grew up skateboarding and I stopped skating because of like sports. As I got older, junior high, I started playing like basketball more serious, and then high school I did basketball and track and field, and I just didn't want like skateboarding to get in the way of those, as well as just like what the community of like skateboarding was in like Brea. It just wasn't like my vibe.
Okay.
Like some like the sideshow stuff that comes with skateboarding.
Yeah.
Wasn't my taste. So I took like a 6-year like break from skateboarding, but like through the county project I got into skateboarding again. I got to skateboard, and then on top of that I also got into filming. I got to film skateboarding, and that was a new process for me, learning how to like film and edit. And like I started off on my phone, and then I got a digital camera, and then I got all the way to the point where I had like one of like the old school like Panasonics with the fisheye and all of that, and like it was fun. It was definitely fun. And like I appreciate like being like brought into like the culture again through the filming. So yeah, not a poser.
Out of all the places you've been to in Orange County, I know it might be hard to pick one particular favorite, but do you have some favorite areas or spots? It doesn't have to be just the cities, but whether it's a mall, a park, or something else
Oh
that kind of
man, okay,
stands out.
that's good. I'm glad that I get a couple options because
Yeah.
I get in trouble all the time because people are like, "Why? Like, how come like Santa Ana's not your favorite? Like on the list, or like, why'd you pick this city over that city?" So I got a couple places. I definitely have the Orange Circle
Mm.
as one of my favorite areas. It's a vibe. You walk through the circle and then like the surrounding neighborhoods over there,
Mm-hmm.
and everything's like accessible. Got orange trees and like the neighbors'
Yeah.
front yards and stuff, and it's just like something out of like uh, a TV show.
Right.
I love Salt Creek Beach down in Dana Point.
Okay.
Great sunsets there. I like the Spectrum, but I'll only go there during the week because the weekends is
Oh, I
so
bet.
hard to get parking there. I love the Source.
Yeah.
The Source. Shout out to the Source.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great shopping area. Great mall. I like going there to eat. They got
A lot of great food
They
there.
got a lot of great food there. Same thing with like Westminster, Garden Grove, and the Little Saigon areas over there are great. I love 4th Street. I didn't want to start off with 4th Street because like 4th Street is in downtown Santa Ana, like that has my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a studio there for a year, but even before that, just like that whole area, I spent a lot of time just going to events there, doing events
Mm-hmm.
in that area. And Santa Ana gave like the county project like another boost
There you go.
of support back in 2020. So I got love for 4th Street and Santa Ana as a city. And then I'm trying to figure out. I like the skate parks in Anaheim.
Mm.
The skate parks in Anaheim, all of them are my favorites. And then I like the Tustin Legacy Skate Park. That's another good.
Okay, that one's newer too, right?
Yeah, that one is newer. That one's a good one. And then whatever comes out of OC Vibe, OC Vibe looks like it's gonna be a dope spot. So
Where's that one at again?
that's gonna be over by the Honda Center.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just jump ahead of everyone and say that's one of my favorite spots. claiming
Be one
that,
of the day
claiming that
ones.
one.
Okay.
And then I like the Great Park. I like the Great Park of Irvine. That's a vibe. I go down there for the soccer games.
Mm.
But there's so much to do there. They got ice rink. They got the hot air balloons. They got a lot of like sports park areas. They got the amphitheater. They brought the Wild Rivers over from.
Yeah?
Yeah, they got Wild Rivers. So
Okay.
the Wild Rivers used to be on like the other side of the 5,
Uh-huh.
next to the 405. So they brought it over, and it's a part of the Great Park now. So
Okay.
yeah, it's got a lot of things to offer over there. So, and then Laguna Beach is dope too. So those are a couple of like my favorite
Mm-hmm.
areas throughout Orange County.
You mentioned the food too, whether it was the Source or like Westminster and Garden Grove. But that's one thing I feel like that it'd make it really tough for me to want to leave a place like this, is just because there is so much food accessible to us of different
So much
cultures.
food accessible, and it's so much easier to
Yeah.
navigate getting food. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I went and got food over in like the San Gabriel Valley area close to Pasadena, San Marino yesterday. And I mean, it's not as hard as like LA to get to get food and find parking and stuff. But definitely it's nowhere as bad as like some of the places or like OC's nowhere as bad as like the places out in LA.
Right.
And just like the battle sometimes of getting food, like for the most part finding parking, and if you have to pay for parking, it's not as bad as
Nearly as bad, yeah.
out there. But yeah, there's a lot of food options, a lot, and I've been just trying a lot of different food places. I appreciate just all the like different cultures and all the food from that Orange County has to offer.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite restaurants or some that stick out to you?
Yes, I do. It's gonna be a long list, but yeah. First off, I want to always shout out La Mama Lona. They got some of the best birria that I've had, and I love their queso tacos. Fire. Pho 45, and which is over in Garden Grove, and Pho Ha, which is over in Brea. Those are two of my favorite like pho spots. Whole Dock Chicken, which is
I've had that, right?
Yeah.
Korean fried chicken?
I think it's Korean, or I'm not completely sure, but I think that they might be Korean fried chicken. But they're good. They got a spot in Orange and then Fullerton. They're really good. Shawarma House, Palestinian food, really good, really fire. I love them. What else is there? Oh, I love breakfast burritos.
Oh.
So I got like a list of breakfast burritos.
I was going to say, yeah, I feel like everyone has a list, and there's a few good spots out here.
I'm not even gonna say the spot that everyone goes to in Santa Ana. Oh, Nate's Corners. They're cool, but like my favorite spot is in Brea, and they're called PK Burgers.
PKs, okay.
Yeah, they're really good.
There's a good spot out here in Orange. It's closer to the 91, but it's called Troy's Burgers.
Oh yeah, I went there.
Yeah, they have good breakfast burritos out there too.
I was someone told me to go over there and try them out, and they're really good.
Nice.
What else? Pepe's. Pepe's has a good breakfast burrito. The cool thing about all these places is that they like the burritos are different. I can tell you what makes like what's like special about like all of their breakfast burritos, but like I love a good breakfast burrito. I might go across the street to Cali Tacos and get a breakfast burrito.
There you go.
They're good too. Shout out to Cali Tacos, the place where you go and get their burritos, not their tacos. But their food is great over there too.
Yeah, that's what's up. So what's coming up next down the line for the county project and some of the things that you're working on that you would be willing to share with us?
We're going to put the project in the county project this year and do a lot more projects that aren't focused around like clothing too much. We're going to have like the go-tos, the classics, available. A lot of people love the hoodies. A lot of people like the hats and beanies and stuff. Then we're gonna add the crew necks. The crew neck that I'm wearing is going to be one of the pieces that we're going to be dropping. But this year, honestly, um, looking to just partner up with different like organizations and stuff, and different businesses, and really just focus on the community and like highlighting like Orange County, and not putting too much of an emphasis on like the clothing per se, because this is a brand at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a clothing brand where that's our focus. Like I'm really focused on just like community. That's what I'm passionate about, and like creating like different initiatives to um, just bring community together, and also like harvest our own community. So I don't want to give like too much away, but we still do have we still have a couple like clothing like collabs that we're going to do with like local artists and stuff. Um, we might. The only hint that I'm going to give is we're going to be taking a break from like making the skateboards and stuff, because these tariffs are hitting. These tariffs are hitting.
Man,
So
state of the economy, huh?
it's the state of the economy. Our wood, like the wood that we get our boards made from, it's from Mexico. So
Damn.
yeah, it just hits. But we got something in store. So stay tuned.
Beautiful. I know you had the store in Santa Ana for a calendar year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you had to close it up. But is there any plan to do that? Maybe not in the near future, but just sometime in the future for you?
Yes. With the studio, I meant to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just coming off of like having the studio and stuff, like I was on the go a lot. I didn't really get to focus on that, and it was just taken away from like being able to like really scale the project up. I've been able to like hone in on like what like I want to do with the project, with the brand as a whole. And I've been working with my team, put like a team around me to just help with our next steps and stuff. But like having like this like the studio and stuff was just taken away from what I was trying, like what we're trying to accomplish and stuff. And we do want to do like pop-ups and stuff, and like have them for like a weekend or like a day and stuff, and like have it be like more portable, and like travel to like different cities and see if like we can just like connect with people that way. But like to have like a permanent storefront, we'll see. A lot of people are hoping that we do, but at the end of the day, I think the logo and the branding itself is the community, and like having a storefront is like a major plus, and it is one way to connect, but there's definitely other ways that you can connect, especially if you have like strong branding.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned connecting and building community as part of the county project. Was there maybe some sort of experience as a child, or just like why is that so important to you, if there's any background behind it?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time just like volunteering. I volunteered in my church growing up, whether it was like community initiatives or actually like volunteering as like someone like on a weekly basis within the church, as well as like I was a part of like clubs and like student bodies and like school as well. And then I was on like the student advisory board um, in high school for the city of Brea, and like I got to like oversee a lot of things, as well as like bring like ideas to like the city council and stuff. So that's sort of like has been like my background and stuff. And um, definitely and seeing like the ties of like that like within like the project and stuff. um I have a lot of people. I'm so grateful, uh just like with like the transition out of the studio. It feels like more people have like reached out wanting to like work with the county project, work with us, and figure out like a way to like partner up. So that's something that like I've been sort of like manifesting and wanting to, like I want it to be the case, and like it's been happening. So like my team and I have been like trying to figure out every like business or brand or organization that has like reached out is different. So we're just trying to figure out like how to like creatively like work with them and figure out like what's the best route of like creating like a meaningful like collaboration with them. And it's not like I don't want to be like a one hit like I don't want it to be like a one hit where like, oh, we do like a t-shirt or we do like a clothing collaboration and then we move on. Like I really want for us to be able to do like have like a partnership that is able to evolve. And if clothing is a part of it at one point, that's cool, but like I don't want it to be like the first thing that like we're doing. Like I want to like see how we can like build like together. And a lot of these organizations already have like do a lot within the community. So there's a mutual interest in like being present and like putting like community first. So
that's dope. I like hearing that because I think, especially coming off of COVID, right, and the pandemic, I feel a lot of people are very disconnected.
Yeah.
And I do feel like just in general, you know, if you look, I watched a lot of sports growing up, and I do remember like the commercials they would show for the NFL or the NBA. It doesn't matter the league, but they'd always show some sort of like, maybe not charity, but they would do some sort of project where they would build homes, build a playground.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just show up at a school and play with the kids, read.
Yo, NBA Cares. I totally forgot about NBA
Exactly.
Cares.
They don't even do that kind of stuff
They don't
anymore.
even do like they low key be doing it, but they don't even be showing it
They
anymore.
don't. They don't have those commercials. And I like seeing that because, you know, one thing I felt like here, especially in Orange County, and it's different from like in Atlanta or in LA even, you know, we didn't have teams per se in here. I know the Chargers are trying to do it now that some of their offices are in Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
But still, it felt like, you know, and that's why I feel like a lot of my friends growing up had, you know, fans, or they were fans of different teams from other areas, because there was no team that would come out and do stuff with us. And I felt like, you know, while the Ducks and Angels did some things here and there, it just didn't feel like enough. But I do feel like some of the bigger brands, or just whether it is a sports team or like your favorite, you know, streetwear brand or something like that, they do stuff with the community. I'm a big fan of like the Hundreds, and I know they would be big into skating and kind of pull up to different events and have different community gatherings and build community through that way. And I think that also resonates with people, and it, you know, they become genuine fans, not because of what you're selling them, but what you did particularly that day or how you made them feel that day.
Yeah. I feel like, especially with the Orange County Soccer Club, their approach with like being in the communities and just putting like the community first before anything has been like a great um, has been a great example. I feel like the Ducks have been inspired by them, and now you're seeing the Ducks sort of like embrace Orange County more, especially with their new uniforms and the whole Orange Country little mantra or whatever that's called. I don't know what's up with the Angels. The Angels just,
I mean, they're still the LA Angels.
they're still the LA Angels,
that
so
tells
like
you everything.
they just think that they like, oh, we're not going to do anything within the community, which I know that they do something, but it's not as like a big push. But like you see with like the Ducks and you see with like the Orange County Soccer Club, it's like in your face and like. Yeah, I think that I appreciate seeing like brands like also a colorblind, also seeing like my boy Luke with Down to Earth, and also a lot of like the musicians here just doing stuff for the community, and it feels a lot more like that you're able to like connect with these brands and like these people, and like yeah, you become, like you said, you become a fan of them just like because you get to interact with them up close and personal, and I think that is important when you're building a business. When you're building like anything, is to be able to connect with people. I don't understand how people are able to like just idolize like celebrities and stuff.
Yeah.
And like these celebrities like aren't able, like it gets to a point where they're not able to connect with like anybody because they like, for their own safety, they like have bodyguards and like they live like secluded and stuff. But like I never understood like the like over just like the like over like obsessing over like like celebrities like that. I always have like more respect for like just like those community organizers, and like I've been told that like I'm one of those people, so it takes like a moment for me to like sit back and realize like, yeah, like I am one of those people, so it's easier for me to just like be able to connect with others because like I am what I like, and I am what I tend to respect. So
yeah, and props to you for doing that, because I feel like just us as a society, we need more people who connect other people together from different walks of life, from different backgrounds, with different interests and stuff like that. And you know, whether it's a streetwear brand or other things in the community, it's always cool to see people of different backgrounds like connect, you know?
Yes, most definitely.
So before we end the podcast, I do like to ask like some fun questions towards the end of the show, just to kind of get the audience to get to know you a little bit better. If you could be any animal, reincarnated to any animal, what would it be?
The eagle. I love eagles. This answer sounds like super patriotic and cheesy, but just the fact that they represent like freedom, but also just like they're technically at the top of like the food chain, but like I don't know, they've always seemed like super bad to me.
And eagles are pretty like internationally renowned. Even, you know, the Mexico flag has an eagle. I know there's eagles in South America too, different
Yeah.
types of eagles, right? But yeah, eagles are really dope. If you could go to any place in the world, where would you want to visit and why?
I would want to go to, probably want to go to Ghana. Ghana's popping low key. I got to go to Kenya a couple years back, and like, I want to be able to explore as many countries on the continent of Africa as possible.
Okay.
But Ghana is one of those places. They actually got skateboarding going on over there.
Nice.
And I know Uganda also has what's it called? They got a skate club going over in Uganda. So, but I know in Ghana they got a couple skate parks too. And like I definitely want to go over there and just check out like the culture and the just experience that.
Yeah, there's a lot of history in Ghana too, from what I remember learning about in history. I liked to take a lot of history classes as electives in college.
Yeah.
And so I took a really good history of African civilizations class. I'll shoot you some book recommendations after.
For sure.
If you could have a dinner with 4 other people, dead or alive, who would you want to invite to that dinner?
Oh. Okay. Malcolm X. Dang. And see, Kanye West is alive, but like the era of Kanye West that like I like is dead.
Oh, okay. I see. You could do that. So.
I would.
I see.
College dropout Kanye West.
Okay, I like that.
Trying to think who else. Dang. I usually don't get 4 options. Like it's usually I always say Malcolm X and just leave it at that.
Okay.
But let me get two more up in there. Trying to think. Oh my goodness.
Those 2 are good too. If you just want to go with that. If I give
no.
To think about.
No, Junior Bridgman.
Okay.
Junior Bridgman just passed away, but Junior Bridgman was one of the, I think, 13 black billionaires. In the world, but he earned his wealth from owning the most franchises of Wendy's, Wendy's, and then also bottling factories for Coca-Cola. Definitely is someone that I've listened to his interviews and stuff, and he was someone who like I would want to like learn from. But I'm gonna also say Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Nipsey Hussle, and since it took me so long, I'm gonna give you 5. Fred Hampton.
Okay, Fred Hampton. So Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Nipsey Hussle. What was a billionaire's name again?
Junior Bridgman.
Junior Bridgman, and then the second one you said
was Kanye West.
Kanye West.
College dropout Kanye West.
Yeah, college dropout Kanye West. That's awesome. Well, so the last question, what advice would you give to your younger self?
keep your main thing the main thing. I think a lot of people are saying that this year. I think that's one of the sayings of this year. But like honestly, I think that with the county project, I did a lot of just like experimenting, running around and stuff, and like just tried a lot of things out. But at the end of the day, the main thing was like building community and focusing on the community and doing things that like helped represent Orange County, and not get too focused on like doing the clothing or skateboarding and stuff, because now there's a lot of brands that do like Orange County clothing and stuff, and I think that has never like deterred me or anything. Like I know where like we stand. Like we're all about like telling stories, and being about uplifting like Orange County, and like you can take away the clothes from us like completely and we'll still have a brand. I'm sort of challenging myself this year. I'm like, yo, like we could like stop making clothes and still just be fine. We still got that sauce. We still got we're still that brand. So
okay,
yeah,
that's one thing. I had Gus on the most recent episode, and he was talking about just serving others. And I feel like no matter what you're doing in life, like I think good things will find you if you're serving other people with a genuine heart, with a genuine message. And so, always really appreciate you for coming on, but also kind of spreading that word and doing the things you're doing here in Orange County, a place that I call home, and spreading community through your project. So again, before we wrap things up, go ahead and tell people where they can find you on social media, if you have a website, and anything else that you might have coming on.
Yes, you can find us at thecountyproject.com. That's like the hub. We got everything, just our blog, our products, our videos are on there. You can get a hold of us through there, and then you can also find us on Instagram at thecounty.project, and then TikTok at the County Project, and YouTube as well. And then for all you old school folks who are going to be watching this on YouTube, we also have email, so you can email us at support@thecountyproject.com if you have any questions. Go. So
I wanted to put this too on the camera feed. I know if you're just listening to the audio, you should go check out the YouTube. But Kevin gifted me with the shirt, County Project. Be sure to go check out their clothing and their apparel. All right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me on.
Of course. Yes, sir. Thank you for coming on. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.